Hello people, Libluini is back in action. This time it's Caelum. You know the drill by now, we are still trying to help Hilma Vega Peterson to take over the world with the power of EVE Online. We are now in winter the year 3 of the Ascension Wars. Everyone is happy because our Caelumites love the cold. We got some air games thanks to a finished trade. And we finished Construction 7 and raised to Taumaturgy. We are now already on our alteration streak, and now we are basically gaining 1 level each double turn or something. Alteration 6 is easy mode for us, we'll get it before even the next war starts, and this means we have Rewrite Fate, which, yeah, it gives our non-sacred units the same power our sacred unit has. And a block of 20 units is kind of big. Control is of course another neat spell, we've talked about this. And then we'll get serious slowly. So, let's see, yeah, we can continue here. We have of course our abominations. Patron of Fabulist has taken the Throne of Night. Oh, that's a neat one. In Dominions 5 and earlier, the Throne of Night could get a set of story events by which the world was put into total darkness for a while. Let's see if Dominion 6 does the same thing. And our constructions, our Cosman constructions, we got Yasatas and another Ahurani and another King. So this should be enough for our next big push into Ulm. We are still searching and not finding again. I guess I shouldn't get too greedy. Then there's fighting among our neighbors. Robo TC is moving around in Satera. With crocodiles. Yeah, okay, crocodiles are... at least they can bite, I guess. But it's one of those units you're not gonna see often, because players won't really summon them that much. They have better things to do with their gams. But the AI does not care, it is Skynet. It will summon whatever it wants, and Agatha punches right back at TC in another province, and we see some Umbrals. Those are kind of neat units you can summon. Yeah, deep dark monsters from the deepest pits. Fairly big, fairly beefy, and they have nice attack and defense skills for big beefy units. They're also stealthy and ethereal, so they're hard to hit. Double hard to hit. Of course, under the abominations they have the usual cold and poison resistance, and they're amphibians, so they don't get penalties if they go into the water. They also have spirit sight, it's a spirit form. So elves won't like them very much. They're of course hard to get, since they cost normally a lot of gems to summon. But even 11 are fucking hell of a shit to deal with if you're getting surprised. Yeah, so of course the blind fighters again. Basic but good. And here we are, the ethereal Umbrals slowly shambling forward. The defenders have already lost. They just don't know it yet. Uh-oh, the Umbrals attack the back forwards, they run away before even contact. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what it was a fast battle. No sappers? Oh yeah, of course, sappers. There's a lot of sappers. Someone loves these guys. Fucking hell, every time I use them, they manage to kill themselves with their stupid fire bottles. Could be funny to see them all go up in flame if there is conflict, but sadly we're at peace with them for the next dozen turns, I think. We took all land and we agreed with Femini and made an agreement with Femini and Agatha, so we can take them without causing immediate warfare on all sides. Also, funny enough, monster vines, dark vines, plant zombie monsters showed up in Valley Dune, annoying Ulm a little bit more, and Ulm has managed to limp onto Umbro there, and I'm guessing they now have to somehow move another army on there to keep up. So the question is, what will we do in this section here? TC has made a huge strides back, and the way the AI function is, if we collide with TC, there will be our enemy too, and if we can get out of their way, well, okay. The thing is, TC won't be a danger to us since the AI can't really remember who exactly got what, except if the enemy is directly still sitting in a province. So, for example, with me taking a province of Femini, TC's AI will not much care for that province. But if it's, for example, retaking Ghent and then we retake it, retake it again, then they will fucking remember. It's of course, because it's kind of complicated, wait, we can only look at the history of our own provinces, to make the AI remember several steps in a chain of people taking each other's provinces. Like, look at this mess. TC got it, then Femini. Then TC, then Femini. And now we. Now, if you want to program the AI to behave like a player, you have a problem, because a human player can, of course, learn to keep all the shit in memory, or at least keep notes. The AI, of course, will have to make reasonable choices with one layer. Then, if there's a second player, then I have to take that one into account, and yeah, this is a non-trivial programming problem, I think. I mean, it could be that I'm totally wrong and TC will immediately attack our stupid province in Outland. But let's keep it up, people. Problem number 2 is, there's a lot of ancestor vessels, while our guys can fly and just fly over them if I'm lucky. We have 120 units here, only a third of them are our own secrets, which, to be fair, can keep going, because the only thing that's problematic is that the howling boss can cause some of them to lose faith and run away. It's not very likely due to the high moral, but it's a concern. Another problem is, of course, because there are high protection units, the boss won't do much to them, so it is a risk. And of course there are smaller armies all over the place. Well, hey, fucking hell, the war against Ulm aggression has not yet begun. And I'm fairly sure that we have a good chance of just shooting them to death with our crossbow bolts. Too bad we won't get a lot of leeway with blessing. Okay, TC armies have a lot of those stupid priests, so that's not a problem. You only have one priest, though. It's a bit of a risk. But hey, our crossbow bolts... Man, now I wish I had looked closer here. Of course, I could also just unify those armies. We can't move directly to the west and to the north, because we kind of promised TC to not do this. Agatha, sorry. And Agatha has enough troops to immediately fight back. I can't just take multiple provinces back in one turn. I still have no idea how many actually sitting in TC itself, the capital. I guess that's also a big block of units. So let's fuck it. Let's go into Genta and clean up. If it works, it works, and we are kind of banking on the AI being more interested in freeing its own capital than in getting sidetracked in minor adventures along the line. And of course Agatha has more than enough units to immediately fight back. At which point this border should be closed and we can go back and concentrate on Polgrave for a while. We still have to prepare for the worst, because soon it's time to use Ulm's current weakness against them. Also I have these guys now here. At least... Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting. Now that we have Construction 7, we can actually do something. Anything interesting here? TC attacked Agatha with an Ancestor Guide and those Ancestor Vessels. Yeah. They're kind of beefy. So... Then in Palgrave, Harabzerf fucked around and found out. Magic Book gave him Astral Magic +1, and then immediately he summoned an ungodly horror from beyond space and time. Which resulted in this cute little floating cat horror. Ugh, that's disgusting. Killing our pure mage. That's one of the weakest horrors there is, but it's still dangerous. Let's see. Here's our Harabzerf, and it's of course one of the useful ones with 2-point air. And he got immediately tainted prisons. Has enhanced the Okay, so this idiot they did gain a lot of magic powers, and in exchange a monster is attacking him now. Yeah, the lightning bolt was a good idea. The lightning bolt almost killed this stupid fucker, so if this mage of ours had just cast a lightning bolt 2 times, he would have survived. So, however, because the floating crate horror has damage reversal, there's a good chance that our stupid idiot will die too now. I mean, he sadly doesn't have any resistance against, shock. And he's now buffed enough. So how the fuck did our mage miss? Huh, okay. Does this thing have shock resistance? Because I've never seen it. Oh yeah, magic power. High magic makes them better. Stunned. Okay, that's the first time I see this tag. Unable to take any actions. The stun effect lasts about 1 combat round. Oh, shock damage can create this status effect too. So let's see, my friend. Yeah, he's still asleep. And scared to death. And then he immediately dies, while the cat tower is slowly regenerating back up. Oh, because he is life drained, so he sucked the life out of our mage. 3,528. Man, those astral horrors are some kind of weird shit. And that was a bad event. We get a little taste of what is to come in approximately 25 turns. 24 turns? Around this. Plus minus keyboard. And everyone gets cold +1, which is good for us, bad for everyone else. Religious misconceptions? Ah, yes, of course. Fucking hell, so... That means we have to go back here and fuck. Ugh. Sometimes, this game. So, let's give Old Land a tiny chance of dealing with this problem on their own. Any more messages to deal with here? Nope. So, in Palgrave, what can we do? Yeah, we can keep on trucking here. Harabzerfs, please. Caelum. Yeah, we don't need scouts. Let's see. A Harab Elder costs us 430, which is a nice lump sum, but it takes 2 turns to get one. Huh. They of course are useful in both directions, not just one. Well, let's see how much luck we can press out of us. So now we have a lot of these guys again, and we give these to our second king, with of course being put in a completely different place here. King, who are you? Sometimes I wish I weren't nearly blind. That's sometimes torture here. King. Where's the second king? No, wait. Fuck. Did I not get him here? No, he is here. I'm just fucking mega blind. Holy fucking shit hell. There's this guy. And here is the second one. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah, and it's more cost efficient than the skirmish. And again, we don't really need to care about anything else because, hell, they can... they are not really stopping our flying units from doing anything. Let's make our basic infantry commander's bodyguard. And add some flash down here. Do I have a full ground commander here? Yeah. So now I have some basic units down here. And the army up here that's a bit more filled out can march off to warfare soon. So this block is nearly finished then. Just wished I could get some more mages here. Now we also have Scouty, the scout friend. So Scouty, fly over here please, thanks. That's of course a bit weird. 1, 2, 3. Either our scout suddenly decided to be as slow, or there's again some weird interaction with underwater provinces. And there's not much going on here, because we want the next army to concentrate on Umbro, give us a bit time. Heavy cavalry? Ah yeah, are those mercenaries or did he just cheap out? He has all those black knights that would have been a lot more useful. Here we are still building up the fortification for our new throne. And we now have a second Ahurani here. Build palisade, yeah. And we have got these here, Yasatas, our second type of sacred, only summonable with astral magic. There is a third type we're not going to see because I have made a pretender with a different design, and that was a bit harder to get because you need the combination of death and fire. Hey, maybe we get lucky further down the line with some of our more death-oriented harem elders, but I'm not holding my breath here. So, they are magic beings, the adorable ones, the ancestors of our Caelumites. High attack and defense skills. They can of course fly, which makes them great for shock attacks into the back row. They can fly during storms, which many other flyers can't. They also come with cold and bigger shock resistance, so they won't be as effective if our other air-type magic fills the battlefield. They're also sacred, so that means they get superpowers if my priests can do a number on them. Too bad their magic lance is already magic, so that's kind of redundant. But since I wasn't sure if I'd get enough astral powers to show these off in large numbers, I decided to double dip so my non-magical earthbounds can also have magical weapons. They also have Awe, which is like the little brother of fear. Instead of making the enemy run away, Awe works kind of in the opposite direction, because there is now a chance that an enemy will whiff their magic resistance rolls or whatever and not be able to attack. Oh yes, moral. So So this means what would happen here is, for example, is a unit has moral 10, and our 2 is something like, oh no, our moral is 8 and we have to roll against it and we probably lose. And then this means they stay in the fight, but they can't attack this round. So high moral units, they can fight almost normal, just accidentally whipping an attack then here and then. But units with low moral, they're basically frozen to the ground. So they won't attack. They won't run away either, so that's why I call it a little brother. So they're still there and get stabbed, have to get stabbed even. And while the Yatsadas are really, really good, they still have a little bit of encumbrance, so they won't stay in the battle forever. And of course the drawback is the spell that gives them to us, gives us 6 for 12 gems, with a discount luckily in this side here. And yeah, that's really it. So they are good units, hard to mass. You need a lot of astral pulse and a lot of astral mages to get big numbers of them. We can't cheese it with items like our storm spool, sadly. It will always be those 6 and nothing else. We'll give it to this guy here. And because we don't want this guy to die to a stiff breeze, also give him these commanders. And now we have, well, underwater they can't fly. And they get penalties, but their attack and defense skills are still high enough to be reasonable, not awful underwater. Yeah, so this will get interesting. But again, they are supposed to give some backup to the fuckers coming with us, the big under. There might be even, since our guys can't fly underwater, there might be a chance that we instead see our undead pinning down the enemy Chamblers, and then we see a really stupid pissing contest of really bad fighters with lots of HP against each other. Oh yeah, the Yasadas of waters, real prosperity and health. Yeah, that's our Ahurani. No, we will of course do this again now. Oh yeah, these 2 arrived to beef up our stupid mage bastion here. Could call another as Ahurani, but our astral pulse are running low again. So instead we'll switch to astral pulse following. And yeah, what we can do is Yatsata 6 and Yatsata's 12. And then we have a little test squad to see how they fare in battle. Careful. And we can only do this stunt because we are summoning with a big discount now. Whoops. Yeah, okay, I forgot. I wanted to forge some astral shit. Well, okay, so since I need extra turns, we'll see what we can construct in next time. Oh, and of course I forgot. Whoops, no, stay here. Ugh. You're now at level 7. You unlocked some shit like the Storm Staff. The Staff of Storms has a cost construction bonus of 8, so this is kind of insane. So if you have this thing, you can suddenly make 9 for each gem. So that's a fucking hell of a lot. And it creates automatically a storm as long as you keep it in battle in your hands. And the drawback is it costs 40 gems. So yeah, that's a lot. And to be fair, since the storm spools are so much cheaper, I've preferred them until now. Of course, we now have this construction bonus here. So I can technically make one now. We have now bigger shit like the Robe of Invulnerability, but it costs 10 death gems. On the other hand, it gives 25 invulnerability, so if something that doesn't have magic weapons, it can basically not do much to you. And if hit goes through, you have 8 more hit points to defend yourself with, so that could be useful, technically speaking. Well, since we don't really need much get much use of our death gems, I'll really need shit on the battlefield. Could be problematic if you have living units and commanders. You can make a barrel of air, so gift of water breathing to 450 size points. Yeah, this is useful, but we aren't trying to invade a water nation, so not as much usefulness there as you could think. Can even sometimes forge stuff for horses, like this here, a lightweight cataphract barding. Costs 10 air gems, and it gives some protection for commander units who have unarmored horses. Kind of cute, but also, well, 2 of our kings have skeleton horses, so we probably don't want those to waste gems on those 5 hit points wonders or something. Yeah, exactly. How much does those guys have here? Skeleton horse. 10 hit points. So not as bad as I thought, but still. Protection is 6. To be fair, some barding would be nice, but they are also extremely cheap to summon, so still a waste of gems, sorry. And this guy was trying to move again. Well, since we have this discount, let's get ourselves a robe of invulnerability. So this should cost 7, right? Well, 8. Close enough. It was again some rounding, I suppose. Now, since all of our astral mages... Yeah, okay. Astral mage and astral mage. We should have some big air mage here. Is level 3 enough? In Dominion's 5 it wasn't. Forge, my friend. What can we do? We have more options here because more magic power. So nothing of this is really relevant right now. We want to make some... Yeah, okay. It's not here. Have to look this up next turn. I should look up if I can get a combination of Earth and Astral going, because then we get access to a second booster, the Meteoritic Coin. It's not really here right now. It could be useful. And we have, of course, the standard of the damned. And one of the things we can get is also a standard. Staff of Storms needs... Holy hell, you need to be Air Magic 5, so I guess I forge one next turn. Because if I give this guy this thing then over to Caelum... Oh yeah, there is of course this funny thing I wanted to try out. Which one of you is the most useless here? So, let's see, it's air, right? Construction, Coastman Construction cost 1 air game, right? And we have currently 59. Now we have 58. Yeah. Nope. Cause we can't do cheap out and drop below 1, I guess. So instead we have to go the other way. I'll give my main man here in Caelum a Staff of Storm for the future. And because if this means I can now use 1 gem to create fucking 9 cores, man. So that's some armor duration right there. Hell, I could 3, 6, 9, yeah, that's 3 of these guys suddenly obsoleted, and we can start regaining air gems instead of continuing to lose them. 1, 2, 3 lost instead of 4, 5, 6, and we are still making 9, 10, 11, 12, 18 each turn. That should be a nice compromise. In an emergency, I can just... oh, sorry. Or I can just stop and go down to 9 per turn. That's still not exactly... the opposite. Oh god, please, please, do not vomit now. The opposite of fucking health. I keep forgetting words, I'm the worst. And 9 is not... Ah, fuck. How to say this? It's not exactly the opposite of much, I would say. It's still something. Anyway, now that my brain has started working again, I'll order this guy here to boost up our dominion a little bit, even though prophet and priests and god and temple all in one, plus our throne, means we are already pushing a lot here. And Giardenta Agora, or whatever it's called, we are still here. And yeah, do we need another Raven Lord? Possibly. In the near future. We're also doing something here. Oh, no, we don't. But we can actually start now. Beefing up our provinces a bit. And maybe doing some scouting on the side. Now I've already used up the more money I got. Ah, fucking hell. So, any place for new mages everywhere? Nope, 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 nope. We still can only recruit a limited amount of mages. Currently there is not much in our capital. Those assholes can all stay and either summon or research. There's not much other use I could squeeze out of them. Except maybe gain some assholes that use minimum viable power air magic to be on the fucky side. And yeah, okay, so I have some earth mages at least, but none of them. Hell, wait a moment. Fucking hell, wait a moment. Ah, shit. We have no access to our guys here. But I had an idea here. The caretaker, nope. The iron crafter has a forge bonus of 1. So we have a cost reduction in gems, plus our normal fuckery up there. Because we have some astral gems and some gems to melt down. Because if I give this guy astral, we suddenly have access to... Yeah, so we need 65. Should be doable. So this guy then will be moved up to out and then be empowered in astral. This should give us some access to some additional fuckery. Although I forgot I can just go over here. So you guys go on research duty. And let's take a look. Now I look at astral shit, like the banner of the Northern Star. Now this game makes all astral mages on the battlefield more powerful and reduces magic resistance. So it's not that harmless, even for your own. But it gives another +1. Then we can make Starshine Skull Scabs, which gives magic resistance right back, +2. And astral magic goes up and permanently, so it's also relevant for rituals outside of combat. And do we see the meteoric coin here? The rings of wizardry and sorcery are also, of course, interesting. Because it also gives a penetration bonus, which is important for spells that have magic resistant rolls against them. But they're also extremely costly, as you can see. This one here is 80 and makes everything go up. Sorcery just makes shit like astral magic go up. The elemental magic is not included here, so no fire, water, earth, or fire, water, earth, or water. Fire, water, earth, or nature. That's the elemental magic if I have that straight in my head. Anyway, it's costly. Then we have the Ring of Return, which beams you back to your home province. The province where you were either constructed, summoned, or recruited. But yeah, of course, if the home province is lost, in Roops, then the returning won't really work out very well for you. The Arcane Lens makes the spell range go up. +1 Providence. Province plus 25%. Yeah, kind of useful, but oh, wait. I'm guessing I can't see it because you need the combination of Astral and Earth to let it show up. So we have to kind of wait until we get our Earth Mage Astraled up. But yeah, with the 2 boosters, this would for example give this guy here basic 6. Then 7 as soon as he gets one of those standards. And yeah, with 2 slaves in communion that would already be 8. 4 slaves 9, 8 slaves 10. So it's already fucking high. And our pretender would be a real danger on the battlefield. He would already be at 9 just with the boosters alone, and automatically go to 10 if he has a standard in a sense. And of course, if we then add some slaves, you would go to 11, 12, 13 before it gets ridiculous. But yeah, so that means even the highest spells available to us will be really easy to cast if we get that far. So we'll now rush as fast as we can through. After our ridiculous reorganization this turn, we are now at over 1000 per research speed, but that's still a lot slower than Pythium. I've seen that curve on the Discord, it's traumatizingly high. So we have to do this for a couple turns now, because soon we'll be moving a lot of mages and then our research speed will go down again. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. As I can see, 4400 to go to 8. It would be approximately 5 turns. 4 maybe, if we can get more mages. But again, we will be experiencing some slowdown eventually. Yeah, so we're limping forward with our preparations. Next turn our little Ahurani will be ready to rumble and will then be moved to Caelum to join up with our undead underwater strike force. And we'll start constructing some nice boosters next turn and move our Iron Crafter up for empowerment. Yeah, I'm trying to rush a little bit here because as soon as Ulm has recovered a bit from their losses, we'll have to move in strength before things go too far into the other direction again. We also, of course, have to be extremely careful what we are doing with our mages, since so many of them have odd one-path wonders. Yeah. Something I could, of course, do always is get some Caelum Seraphs. They always have reliable air too. In fact, that would be probably a smart move now that I think about it. Because while my right flank still has 1, 2, 3, this guy 4, okay, these guys don't count, 4, 5, 6, I guess, 7 maybe, 8 air mages, so that's a lot of thunder strikes potentially. This side has, yeah, okay, 1. This is the storming guy. And this guy is obviously astral. And then we have some death mages for skeletons. And that's it. So that's not much really. So it probably is better if I make sure that we get some more air mages for our stormcasters to support our stormcasters. So the next few turns I will add some seraphs and send them over to Polgrave to beef up our left flank. But we are getting there. Our right flank, of course, is born ready. It's just waiting for the fortification to go up. And as soon as I've got our little underwater Ahurani back to Caelum, Caelum is kind of ready. After that, I'll switch our future Storm Staff Carrier to summoning duty, because I love this ridiculousness of using a Storm Staff to nearly get 10 undead monsters per turn for almost free. So, and here in Palgrave, we'll fucking hell yeah, those guys need some more mages in units. At some point, of course, we have to start moving our hidden forces. But, of course, I can't move them too fast, because if they are discovered, the war is on and my main forces should be approaching high readiness status before I start fucking things over. I also have to take a look at what the fuck TC is doing here. So I have to be careful that my reserve forces here can deal with the occasional attack. I guess this will be a learning experience. If there is a bump with Robo TC, I at least see how good our sacreds match up to theirs and can plan accordingly. And yeah, that's it really for this turn. Preparations for the Ulm invasion are getting closer, and the cleanup on the northwestern flank is slowly reaching apotheosis. That's also a class of ship in EVE Online, by the way. Anyway, Libloini out.